There was plenty of people coming to Thailand and making videos well before me, so there are videos, endless blogs, so most of these places are gonna get found out. Now, in my opinion, Thailand's great for many a reason, big fan, but if you're planning your first trip here, I'm assuming you've been watching videos, you've been reading posts, things like that, and through my observation, I have noticed 4 or 5 things that I think are common misconceptions. Some of these people can kind of arrive to on their own just from watching videos and things like that. Things that I arrived at, and once I got here, they might not be exactly that way. But the last few are points that, especially when it comes to a certain group of content creators, I think some things are just right on the line of borderline lie and for sure not telling the entire picture. So in today's video, we're gonna go over my top misconceptions that you may have arrived at in your studies in preparation for your first trip to Thailand. Housing. Now, we've all seen the videos. I've made a few of them myself, showing off these really, honestly pretty extravagant condos, especially in Thailand, and talking about how cheap they are. And yes, most of that stuff that you see is true. I would say even the vast majority of it is true. I've yet to really stumble across any videos where I know for a fact that somebody said, oh, this, condo is this amount, but I know that it's more. I never really see that. Most of the places that I know for sure, the videos I see are accurate. But one thing that can kind of come of this, I definitely was guilty of it when I got to Thailand, is you forget that everywhere you go, there are levels to living, right? Like, you can find plenty of things in Thailand for super cheap, but you're not gonna find really high quality places for super cheap. If you start to get in that middle ground, you might get lucky, but you're definitely gonna have to do some research. I don't think it's realistic to come to Thailand and say, oh, I'm gonna stay long term, and I'm gonna give myself 5 days to find a condo that I like because there's just so many of them. Especially in the major metropolitans, Bangkok, even Pattaya, Phuket, the popular places get picked up quick. Everybody talks about them, they're on every forum. So you're not gonna be able to just find this, $300 or $400 a month condo that has infinity pools and a huge gym and is in a great location. That's not to say they don't exist, but it does take time to find them. So if you're planning, especially on staying here long term, I'd say hop on those forums, hop on the website, start looking a bit before you get here so you have an idea of what to expect and which direction to go when you do actually arrive. Money. The cost of living compared to the West, I know, is a huge attractor for a lot of people that want to come and spend time in Thailand. Whether it's vacation or living, you can get a lot further with a lot less money than you can most places in the West, Europe, America, places like that. But Thailand is its own country, so money works in a way, and certain things might not only be more or less expensive. It's not just this blanket statement that everything you see everywhere, especially stuff that you might be used to in the West, is cheaper. So there are some ins and outs to learning how your money is going to work for you when you are in Thailand. Luckily for you, a couple weeks ago, I put out a video going much more into depth talking about comparisons between when I first got here and now, and if things are getting more expensive. So there is a lot more detail in that video. If you want to learn a little bit more about how your money is going to treat you when you are in Thailand, hop back in the catalog and check that one out. Expectations. Now, anywhere in the world, there's always a contrast. There's a contrast of everything. There's a range of everything you can ever encounter if you think about it, right? And of course, this is true for Thailand. But everyone, myself included, when we are online watching videos, Instagram posts, whatever it may be, looking for the places that we want to end up, 9 times out of 10, what ends up in those posts is the top of the top, the prettiest, the nicest, the cheapest, whatever it may be. But of course, not all of Thailand is gonna be like that. This is something that I have to remind myself every once in a while. And let's be honest, the journey to get to those places, 9 times out of 10, ends up being the majority of the fun anyway. So just keep that in mind. Not everywhere is gonna look like these picturesque scenes and stuff. Nowhere is. I mean, think about California. If you've ever been to San Diego or you've traveled around California more, hopefully, you'll know that the entire state does not look like, Los Angeles or San Diego. But anytime you see California, that's what's gonna be shown. Familiarity. Now, while not impossible, the likelihood that when you come to Thailand, you're gonna meet all these like-minded individuals. People are here looking for the same experiences, whether it be from Thailand specifically or life in general. The likelihood of that happening, unless you're in one very specific demographic, which you probably aren't. But unless you're in that one, the likelihood of that happening without you actively pursuing it is honestly pretty low. It's like anywhere else in the world, all through Thailand, there's a wide range of people, whether it be locals or people that are traveling. So especially maybe you're in my age demographic, you're in your early 30s, backpacker vibes, you can do things like stay in hostels, sign up for group activities, but you 100% have to make a conscious effort to try to, meet those people, especially if you're staying here long term. Privacy. Now, like we mentioned, Thailand is a hotspot for tourists from all over the world. You'll literally meet people from everywhere while you're in Thailand. And one thing that definitely happens when you watch all these, videos about all these beautiful beaches and these hidden away, tucked away islands, is that you might get the sense that there's these type of places just all over Thailand. The thing is people have been coming to Thailand for a long time. So all the good spots have been found. They're popular. There was plenty of people coming to Thailand and making videos well before me. So there are videos, endless blogs. So most of these places are gonna get found out. Now, while it's definitely not impossible to find these, especially if you come during the slow season, it can be much easier to go places that there might not be that big of a crowd. But majority of the time, especially if you're going to the really popular destinations, you can expect to be sharing them with a lot of other people that are probably doing the same thing as you. Frustration. Now, if you spend any extended period of time in Thailand, or if you're doing a lot of traveling all over the country, I can almost guarantee for a fact that you're gonna end up at some point where you're a little bit frustrated with how things might be happening. Now, whether that be, from a personal lack of understanding of just maybe how things work in Thailand, or you might have an idea that something might work a better way if you did it like this, it's gonna happen. Now, especially when you're watching these videos, even mine, a lot of the times it can kind of seem like smooth sailing. A lot of the times, of course, we don't want to be negative because I feel like it doesn't really make for a good video, however honest. And I'm really conscious that I don't want to shed negative light on a place or an experience, especially because if it was something that I overlooked or one of my mistakes. But when you're negative, it can put people in the same space as you, and then maybe they don't end up going to that place. So this is something that's definitely gonna happen. Just be prepared for the bumps and do your best to roll with it, especially if you're on vacation, you're on a short window of time. All you can do is just kind of accept it. And honestly, that's one of the lures of travel. Things, no matter where you are, rarely go smoothly. Yeah, I mean, at least in my experience. I feel like a lot of people are probably better at planning, which would probably help. Personally, the contrasts that I see in a new place are one of the things that kind of allures me and is one of the main reasons I still enjoy Thailand. Trying to constantly figure out how or why things work the way that they do, just out of pure interest, is one thing that Thailand keeps giving me, and I keep coming back for more. And especially if you're coming to Thailand with realistic expectations, I don't see any reason why it can't do the same for you.